Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Game of Thrones Season 4. This week we got to see Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 2, which was called The Lion and the Rose. Oh yeah, he's dead, baby! Oh yeah! Right, as always, my video reviews do contain spoilers. For anyone who's not seen this episode yet, you don't want to watch this review because I'm going to spoil the hell out of it for you. And this is one of the biggest episodes we've had so far in Game of Thrones. It's been a long time coming. It's been a very, very long time coming. This episode for me is like a reward for sticking with the series. If you're a fan of the Starks, if you like the Starks from the beginning, which I don't know how you really couldn't, most people do. There's some people, I hate the Starks, but most people, you know, they like Eddard. They like people who are good people like that. You know, people that are honorable, everything like that, and do the right thing. And the Starks, they're a whole family like that. You know, their whole family is, for the most part, like that, and they always try to do the right thing. So, love the Starks. Big Stark fan. I would say they're my favorite house out of all of them, I would say, or, you know, were, I guess, because they're kind of almost non-existent now. But even still, they're my favorites. So this episode is like a reward for sticking with the series all this time, to finally see vengeance from all the way back in the first season. If you guys remember, way back in Baelor, of course, when Eddard gets beheaded, unjustly, I want to say, you know, it didn't need to go down that way, but Joffrey, what a cruel little bastard he is. And finally, to see him get his was awesome. I really like the makeup effects on it, the way they look, the zoom in, the face, and everything as he turns over, and it's straight up like zombie style. You know, he's like all red everywhere. He's got the, you know, the lines, the makeup. They did a great job of that, turning him over and just like, wow, you know, an awesome interpretation of the books. But it was different. It was different from the way it was written originally in the books. The events were different. The events that took place were different. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty streamlined. You know, the episode itself, even though there was a good amount of, you know, some slow parts with the wedding and all that, well, I thought the wedding was pretty cool to see overall because it's a huge event. But then the finale, the big finale at the end was such a great payoff. This has to be one of my favorite episodes in the series just because of how much I like the Starks. And if you weren't on board with it, the way they have the, you know, him, so it's so funny with Joffrey. You know, he's at his wedding, and he's like, everyone's too happy. You know, like I can't deal with it. There's too much happiness going around. I need to add some drama. I need to add some misery here. You know, he's just one of those types of people that it pisses him off when everybody's good and everything's good. So he brings out the dwarves. Oh man, to add insult to injury, the worst has to be the pelvic thrusting of the wolf head. That has to be absolutely the worst. I love the way they shot it. He looks over at Tyrion. Tyrion's just like, you know, like, oh man. Then he starts being a big time asshole to him. And the way that it's shot and the way it plays out makes you think right away, oh man, it had to have been Tyrion that did it. But then when you think about it, it's like, well, you know, the wine was there. It's not like he had prepared, like he knew that Joffrey was going to do this or anything. From our perspective, we know, of course, that Tyrion is not guilty of killing him. He just did what he was told and got the wine and poured it. Whatever, you know, what happened. So obviously somebody, you know, planted it there and set this whole thing up for Joffrey, and you know, I mean, Tyrion's probably going to take the blame for it. So, you know, it adds a lot of interesting elements as to what's going to happen next in season 4. Since the king has been killed, they're going to want somebody. Cersei's already told you know, the Kingsguard to take Tyrion into custody, which they already have. And man, just overall, my thoughts on it. It was great to finally see it. It was fantastic to finally see it. So that was all awesome. Joffrey finally got his. What an arrogant prick, asshole, making Tyrion his cupbearer. Right up until the end, even when everything's good, even on his wedding day, when everything should be happy, you know, he's marrying Margery. So, he should be happy. He's just this miserable little prick right up to the end. So I was really happy to see it. I was extremely just psyched to see how it all played out and how it all went down. And, it sets us up for some good stuff for the rest of the season, because now there's going to be the whole whodunit type thing. People that haven't read the books. And they may even, like, the way they shot this makes me think they may go a different direction than what they did in the books, depending, because there's some weird things that happen around it. Like, you've got Dantas, right, the fool. He's in there and he's telling Sansa, we got to leave now. So it's like, hey, what do you mean we got to leave? Why does she have to? What are you talking about? Did you set this up? Did you do something? And you have, of course, all the others there. Everything points to Tyrion, even though we know he's not responsible. But there's others involved too. Oberyn's there. We know he hates the Lannisters. So it really has a good mix of who did it type of thing. I'll probably do a whole video this week just talking about who did it, and giving my thoughts on whether or not they're going to do the same thing as the books initially, or if they're going to go to a different direction. I won't ruin anything. I know a lot of my viewers have not read the books. That's fine. Don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything that hasn't been in the series so far. I don't do that. So when I do the discussion topic, I'll talk about that in particular and who did it in the books. If you guys want to know, subscribe to the channel, or just check out the channel in a few days when the video is posted of who set this up, who did it, basically. So it was great, man. The visuals of the wedding and everything, all the way through, it was awesome. Joffrey getting his sword, he's all excited. He gets his Valyrian steel sword from Tywin. Oberyn meeting Tywin was great as well too, and Cersei and some of this. What a cruel bitch, Margery's like, let's give the leftovers to the poorest people, in the capital. Give it to the poorest people there are. And then she, wants to go. Cersei wants to, meddle and give it to the dogs. What is wrong with Oh man, the Lannisters, just not all of them, but definitely Cersei is about as evil as you could get. You really got a feel for Tyrion in this one. You got a feel for Sansa, and overall the whole wedding thing and the setup and everything, the big payoff, I thought was absolutely fantastic. Aside from that, there was a lot of other things about the episode that was good too. We got to see some of the characters that we hadn't seen in the premiere. We got to see where Ramsay was at with Reek, I get. Oh, you got to feel so bad. See, this show makes you feel really bad for some characters, Theon, and Bolton, of course, comes and finally sees what Ramsay has done to him, and like they describe it as flaying him, like you flayed him. Oh man, it's brutal, and when he's shaving him and everything, you're just like, as a viewer, you're just sitting there going, "Oh man, just do it, just rip it, man, just you got a chance." But it's realistic too, because when someone's conditioned to that degree over that amount of time with pain, extreme pain, they basically become conditioned to be completely obedient like that, 100% obedient. All throughout history, you've seen it psychologically. You can be conditioned like that, especially using pain. That's for sure. Even without it sometimes, but especially pain, you can be conditioned like that. So that was pretty brutal again when they're chasing down that girl for. It seemed like for basically no reason, just because Ramsay's other girl or whatever, I don't know if that's his girlfriend or whatever the case may be, was jealous of her, didn't like her or something, whatever the case may be. So that scene was, I guess it was cool to see Bolton again. I hate Bolton, and just, again, you got to feel for Theon, man. I really hope, in Theon's current state, I hope he gets some swing of luck. I hope he gets saved, or he, gets away, or something. I hope something happens with him that, sets him up, in a better life position, because you got to feel for him at this point. So there's that. We got to see Melisandre, Stannis, Sir Davos, everybody like that. Stannis has got women problems. He's got chick problems. It's just kind of funny to see Melisandre, the daughter, and then the sort of wife, I guess. Oh, well, I don't know. I guess she is, but whatever you want to call it. Ex-wife, maybe. I don't know. Or wife, I guess, technically. Whatever you want to call it. But that was weird, especially the way he was sacrificing. Stannis is a character that at first I thought he was awesome. I loved Stannis, thought he was so great. But when you see him do stuff like that, even if it is, I guess, even if people were like his what was his brother that he burned, whatever the case may be, the point is that what I'm trying to say is you kind of have to like me, I liked Stannis a lot. Like, especially at first, I liked Stannis, but now I almost feel like, because he's doing these things and all that, I don't know how much I like him anymore, because he's, burning people on the stake for next to nothing, this kind of thing. It's just sacrificing people to the Lord of Light or whatever the case may be. It's pretty brutal. So there's also the scene with Melisandre and Stannis' daughter, which I thought was kind of cool. That line, there's only one hell, the one we live in now. I like that. It was used in the trailer. I like that line quite a bit. I think it's a good one. Other cool scenes. There's Bronn and Jaime. Bronn's such a funny character. I love Bronn when they're training down there, and he basically tells him this is where he fucked this Thunderbolt Knight's wife or something, and no one could hear her, so he doesn't think they'll have any problem down there. Jaime training with his left hand. We find out that he's kind of, well, basically he's useless with it, and he can't fight right now at all. I mean, well, you're left. If you're right-handed, and you gotta, you can't even. Unless they could make him a hand where it like had a sword attached to it, or so, I don't know. I don't know if it would work. It'd be tough. But anyway, so that was cool. And let's see. I mean, aside from that, there were some great lines throughout. Like I said, Bronn had some funny ones. Cersei had some evil ones. Aside from that, just of course the big ending. Extremely cool. Love the makeup. Finally, Joffrey gets his. And I'll do a video soon talking about who I think did it in the TV series version, whether or not they're going to go the same route or if there's going to be some kind of differences, which there could be based on the way it was shot. It looks like there might be. But anyway, I'll save that for another video. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode, how you felt about watching it. Is anybody upset that Joffrey was killed? Write in the comments below. I don't know how you could be, but it was great. It was great to finally see that. We've been waiting a long time, and it's finally paid off. Love the episode. Going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 simply because of them killing Joffrey off. I'm in a good mood now. I'm happy. I like that. So it's good stuff. And it looked good aesthetically. The visuals of the wedding and everything were really grand. You had the fire. You had all the different entertainment type pieces and things like that, which were pretty cool. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you thought about the episode. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. As always, I'm saying peace.